As usual on Twitter, President Donald Trump let go the tariffs against Mexico, and as you can expect, when market opens last night, the US dollar versus Mexican peso just gapped down, giving a lot of traders and investors the opportunity to realize some profits in those shorts. How long that's going to last, we don't know. But at the same time, during NFP on Friday, we had a poor number, 75,000, and that actually the consensus was at 185,000. It tells us that things are not really picking up steam as they used to. It doesn't look like the U.S. economy is as strong as everyone thought before that. It's not bad, it's not good, but just not enough to keep the stock market engine climbing up. Therefore, apparently the Federal Reserve will go ahead and cut rates in July. Is that a given? Is that something that we think is going to happen? Time will tell. But if it doesn't happen next month, market participants are going to be extremely disappointed. Welcome everyone, my name is Jose Ricardo Tejada. I'm the editor of the Prosperity Digest newsletter and product specialist in Market Shares Daily. Today, as usual, we'll bring you another idea based on the insiders, what we think is Wall Street's smarter traders and investors, impeccable track record. And when they have skin in the game, we want to go in as well. So today we're going to talk about American Airlines Group, ticker symbol AAL. And the only reason why we're looking at this security is because now we know that on June 4th we had a few members, C-level executives, board directors, member directors, that they just went in and bought somewhere around the 28 to the 27 neighborhood, and we want to take a look exactly what happened and what can we expect from those clusters. At the same time, we will combine these analysis with Hawkeye Traders, the leading indicator and one of the most professional tools when it comes to volume price analysis. Now, please, before we continue, remember that all the video content is for educational purposes only. It does not constitute an invitation for you to go buy and sell any securities. At all time, keep in mind that past performance does not constitute future performance. Having said that, let's begin. Let's go to the charts. Now, let's take a look right away. We're going to go, and one of the free tools that you can always use is finvest.com. And here's the, if you want to pay, you can go and have an elite package of real-time quotes, intraday charts, and all that advanced charting tools. We just need the base. A couple things we're going to look at the very first stage. We have the different investment bank or analysts house recommendations. Standpoint Research, they started a buy. No surprise, because if you take a look at the data here in this section, we have the we are 31% from the 52-week high. Now that gives us an opportunity, and what I tend to do, I tend to go for this portion. This is the upside that I'm looking, and from the 52-week low, we are above 14.43%. This is the idea that I will have for my stop loss. This is how much I would like to risk in my position. That means for every $10,000, I will be willing to risk in this position. Conservative speaking, I will go for $1,500. If I used to go for $2,500. That's what I like to do. And also I use some other hedge fund strategies in how I approach my purchases. So this is the initial line of ideas, data that I want to take a look. And if I scroll down, this is why we're talking about American Airlines, ticker symbol AAL. We have the president, Robert D. Jr. Ism, adding about 15,000 shares. We have the chairman and CEO, Douglas W. Parker, adding 50,000 shares. And then we have a couple members, C-level executives, guys. We have a CFO adding 5,000 shares. And also we have a director, John T. Cahill. He's adding 25,000 shares. You can see the range of the purchases, $28.60 all the way to $27.75. The lowest one, the lowest $27.63. That's to see. So you have all this bunch, almost 2020, just 90, about 120,000 new shares purchased by the insiders. This is something that right away I have to consider, and I want to take a look what's going on, where's the price heading, and how much I can squeeze from this position, and how you can also set up yourself for to actually get some points out of this. Now, my holding time will be between 4 to 6 months initially to see how much I can take out, and I'm going directly to the charts. I'm just going to show you right away how it looks for me, what I already identified as patterns, time patterns, and the risk. This is the risk initially, as mentioned. You look on V's.com, we're 14.43% up from the 52-week low. That's 14.43%. I'm playing with a 12.61. This is a conservative view, but I always prefer to go with a 25% risk, and the reason is because if it drops 12%, if I get lucky enough and there is a pullback, one more pullback, I will absolutely double, triple my position, cost average to the downside. Is a very common mutual fund technique. A lot of hedge funds, they do that when they have high conviction into any security trade. Also, keep in mind, we now have the information, we have the understanding that insiders, they're buying between 27.63 and 28.60. So that estimated $1 or up to $2. We can take that as the risk. Now, if I were to look into what happened in this stock, I'm just going to go take a look at the market history, way different from market past performance. Now, we take a look at here, we'll go all the way back to the low back on June 2016, not too far from 24.85. Now, the low here in the present June, again, June 9, 2019, the low was $27.02. Keep in mind, insiders got in at 27.60. Now, when that happened, going back, we have the first time, January 2014, market goes up all the way to the 44 range. Actually went up a little bit more, but just trying to be conservative. So there we have this horizontal, you have it here, horizontal resistance at $40.30. That's almost 5 years of information, 4 or 5 years of information. And the next level resistance, 56.54. So right now we know that there's a price rotation coming from this historical level back to July 2016 and June 2019 and January 2014. This is the price rotation. Now the middle of the range will be all the way up to $40.50, and there's the break and open above this range. We're going to rotate all the way high to 56.32 cents. To keep in mind, let me just point, we have insiders in this area. Let's just add another one so you know exactly that insiders are supporting this push higher. At the same time, as I mentioned, we may not expect the Federal Reserve to cut in July. That could be premature, but nevertheless, there's no reason to doubt that if the Federal Reserve wants to keep the stock market engine ticking up, climbing up, they will definitely need to cut rates. How many cuts? Probably 50 basis points. Why not? 75 basis points. And that will really help the not expensive, the cheap money to boost market. Doesn't mean that it's increasing productivity, it just means that it's helping the stock market, and that will translate in higher stock prices. What you have to understand is that the way it works is, and I will add this note in a moment, if interest rates go to zero, and there's evidence to think that that will be necessary to boost the economy and trading activity, then the only place to go, I repeat, the only place to go to find shelter and to find a decent return on your money will be the stock market, and that will benefit the U.S. stock markets. Keep that in mind. I will discuss more of that in future videos. Now, going back to American Airlines Group, ticker symbol AAL, what we have to look at this now is, okay, so on the last time we have these push higher, 49.31%. So far from the low, we have a 14.39%. So the rest of the upside potential is close to 28.95%. This is something to consider. And of course, we can push a little bit higher. There can be an extra 31%. This is the pattern. Sorry, guys. This is the pattern. This is information we have here. And the most important, if it keeps pushing higher, we're going to find ourselves in a collision course against 44.62, where we know now, based on Hawkeye traders leading technical tools, that we have a barrier of stop losses, and once we take that out, then we can think about moving back to 55. And then of course at that point in time, that could be a year and a half from now, back all the way to summer 2020, we will have 1, 2, 3. We can have in position a triple top, and we will have to reassess our view on this particular stock. Once again, take a look at the information. We have insiders coming back to the game, more than 100, probably 120,000 shares, or more than 120,000 shares. CEO, president, CFO, different C-levels executive members, also board of directors and directors are in the game. Now we have the pattern. We knew at that point that we were on a historical low. It's not a simple 1 hour, 4 hour daily support resistance game. It's historical levels all the way back to January 2014. So as I said, I will play this add-in, and I have to do that 24 hours before I publish this content, and I explain my idea. Is basically the way I will look at 25%. If we get rewarded with a 10 to 15% pullback, I will cost average my position, looking to target at least 31%. That would be under horizontal resistance, not too far. I can actually go higher, $40.60, and when prices get there, I will start closing a portion. I will close a portion of my trade and break even, and let the rest go as high as is possible. So again, guys, insiders are back in the game. There's insider activity between 27. Let's go back to Fins VZ. You got this information, 27.63 all the way to 28.60, almost $1 between the different clusters by action from the insiders. You have all this information. So as usual, I want to invite you now, go to the description of this video. If we want to know more about insiders, how exactly, what they do, who are the insiders, please go ahead to the description of this video, and you will find the link so you can hear more from our senior editor, Ross Givens. He will explain in a webinar, a free webinar, exactly who are the insiders, what they do, and why you want to follow them. Keep in mind, the insiders are by far one of the best traders and investors out there. They have an impeccable track record. And what will be better? Would you like to buy a company where their team, the management is buying, or would you like to buy a company where the owner and members of the board are selling? Wouldn't it be better to buy when they have skin in the game? That tells you a lot, right? So that's exactly what we'll do in this report. Again, the invitation, as usual, please, to the right, you will find the red button to subscribe to this channel, so you get all the information of these videos when we publish them. And go to the description of this video, and you will find the link to subscribe yourself to, and to watch right away, this free webinar where Ross Givens, editor of the Insider Report, will explain to you more about the insiders. Thank you for watching, guys, and I see you in the next video.